So for those of you who haven't been aware, there's been this hysterical meltdown of the YouTube social justice warrior atheists. And whilst I've got almost no idea about who's eating who, it's just hilarious to watch.
I've been kicked out of groups. I've had people stop following me on Twitter and unfriend me on Facebook. She has bipolar disorder. But then, like, suddenly this woman who has never met me on the internet tells me she loves me. And in fact, she's self-diagnosed, doesn't take medication, doesn't see a therapist. That's the thing, is she demands attention like she's my girlfriend, and she's not, and has never been my girlfriend. And I fucking love her. I do love her on some level.
I still love you.
And many people lose respect for her immediately when finding out that she's been living with a boyfriend and basically trying to get me to move her to Seattle and live with me the whole time.
You're a basic bitch.
And that's why this whole thing started. Because he was ejected, and he heard whatever, and then I was like, well, yeah. And then Sage said you were being inappropriate with people.
You're supposed to be my dad, bitch!
Sage clearly stated to me, when asked why Chris was ejected from the group conversation, that this happened because Chris was inappropriate with multiple people.
Because what was going on was they were, extremely boring, and Archduchess was trying to assassinate Chris's character.
Now that we've stopped focusing on all these anti-feminist jack-offs, then we've just started eating each other alive.
So that was happening, but also, oh yes, I am a sexual predator and abuser of women.
This is the worm-ridden, decayed, grub-infested heart of the worst elements of people who identify themselves as social justice warriors.
I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
I will not regret making this video if everyone I mentioned in this video, who I consider to be the guilty parties, commit seppuku in a live hangout on YouTube.
These civilized people, they'll eat each other.
You don't feel regular human emotion like the rest of us. They're very easily swayed when they hear the buzzwords that they've come to know as being a part of their struggle. About sociopaths, if you
a friendship with bigots as
sociopath,
treating bigots
as sociopaths have no problem.
Bigots are not a language that I consider to be bigoted.
Sociopath, because many
political views that are bigoted. But being bigoted is friends of mine who are bigoted, since bigotry
many sociopaths do. One of which is probably a sociopath, and become sociopaths. This whole thing is spun out of control thanks to you guys and your fervor to start drumming out heretics from the community. Who's a sociopath in my own designation.
Yet befriend bigots. Friendly to bigots as they are bigoted against.
Just pointing out somebody who appears to be a sociopath and a community of people who seem to be able to believe a sociopath who will say anything.
Even to a guy like me, that's cold.
Welcoming bigots. Bigots are already hear bigoted jokes, bigoted political views, and bigoted slurs. Bigots or tolerance of bigots.
Apparently he can't handle being caught up on and basically being exposed for the moron that he is, even though everybody's already done that.
I am just sort of longing for the days where we at least pretended to like each other, you know?
In other words, they can't stop being antisocial and a sociopath once they've gotten what they want in one instance. They're going to keep doing it.
These civilized people, they'll eat each other.
And might I add, you've got the substance abuse problems, you've got the lack of friends, you have hardly any contact with your family. There are all these criteria that I see that's associated with people that are sociopathic, including the anger issues, the desire to destroy people who have actually wronged you, the manipulations, the superficial charm, the hypersexuality.
Oh, hello. I'm guessing you're here because you are on a quest to find the perfect woman to sleep with.
You know, these are the subsection of archetypal hugbox atheists. Now, it turns out, and I'm sure this will stun many of you, that there was this young woman.
Normal people don't sit at home and look at porn on the internet.
You have no idea. Ready, normal people? Ready?
Ready? Ready?
Let me hear it! Internet.
Who enjoyed highlighting certain aspects of her own body.
Oh, hello. I'm guessing you're here because you are on a quest to find the perfect woman to sleep with. Well, look no further because I have a treat for you.
And, of course, certain stupidities of her own brain.
So, this video is directed towards people who are already kind of understanding that gender is a social construct, but maybe aren't sold or haven't thought about the idea that biological sex is also a social construct.
Yeah, that's right. It's a good thing these pheasants have a society that can educate the males into their biological sex. Else, how would they, feel, whatever, the social pressure to grow all that plumage, because biological sex is just totally a social construct.
Who are already kind of understanding that gender is a social construct, but maybe aren't sold or haven't thought about the idea that biological sex is also a social construct.
Honestly, if stupidity became an Olympic event, these people would be unbeatable. Anyway, turns out she wanted this safe space where people cared about what she felt. Yeah, even back then, it was all about the fifis in this social justice warrior hug box.
How I feel about people. I really feel like, and I just felt and upset because I feel like I really feel like shit right now.
I felt my feelings were not being respected, which is...
I just feel like, I feel like that's...
I really do feel...
Yeah, I just feel like the power structure, the age differences, little girls tell me that they feel excited. I'm not going to feel guilty because I'm tired of not feeling... I'm not going to let my friends feel...
And she decided that this safe space was going to be the YouTube social justice warrior scene.
And today we are going to be talking about an overwhelming question that I get a lot on Tumblr, which is, how do I get boys to notice me?
I want us to come together on this and create a safe space for all YouTubers, particularly female YouTubers.
And I'm sure she thought it was all just pure coincidence that all the men who wanted to give her this safe space were sad, lonely, basement-dwelling, neckbeard males. You know, the sort of pasty subomaculoids that really don't look like they get out much.
Is it literal white knights? Do they actually exist? Guys that genuinely are in the feminist community to try to, get with girls.
Let's go to Human Reproductive Systems 101. Here's a basic biology text. The chances are that both of these guys are going to come out with some sort of biological defect, like missing arms or legs, or worse.
After all, what better way for such men to get to know women than by becoming feminists?
It works. It'll probably work for everybody. And it's just like one simple thing, and if you do this consistently for a few weeks or months, how many guys that approach you or talk to you is going to go up by hell a lot. My secret is eye contact. And it sounds so simple and weird, but I promise you, it is fucking ridiculous how well this works. That is my secret, because especially when you're at concerts, I love doing it when I'm at concerts. I will do it to every other guy I see, and then I eventually see them all again and they say something to me. It's really funny.
Yes, this happens, and not just one time, not just 2 times. I can name about 4 or 5 male YouTubers in the feminist community that have sent me unwarranted sexual messages. Guys that I thought were my friends and that I could trust.
Stunning, I know. Let me guess, next she's going to be surprised that paedophiles tend to be drawn to jobs like the priesthood. Indeed, for me, it's kind of difficult to listen to people like Steve Shives bang on and on and on about how evil it is for someone to pass a comment about how sexy a woman looks.
A lot of the people doing this, a lot of the guys doing this are people who have spoken out against that very sort of behavior in public, who have posted videos, posted Facebook statuses, tweeted shit on Twitter about how horrible it is, how sexism is a terrible thing, and
This is a guy that everyone likes and looks up to, and how can I ruin that for them, or how can I destroy their friendship? I'm just some girl that joined a couple months ago.
Bullying and intimidation and sexual harassment of women by men is just awful and needs to stop. And they do that very same sort of thing themselves.
Imagine, like, having a guy that is 10 years older than you find your phone number, ask you for nudes, text you a bunch, and then turn around and see him make a video about MRAs or rape or sexual harassment, and people are like praising him for this and being like, oh, he's such a great guy.
And honestly, all of this, I regard this as a more serious offence than all of you.
It is absolutely unacceptable. It is absolutely unacceptable.
Looks to me like there really is a lot of Ted Haggard-style repression going on.
Did shit on Twitter about how horrible it is, how sexism is a terrible thing, and bullying and intimidation and sexual harassment of women by men is just awful and needs to stop. And they do that very same sort of thing themselves.
All right, so we don't have to debate about what we should think about homosexual activity. It's written in the Bible.
It is utterly contemptible. And there is no excuse for it, and I'm telling you.
That is my secret. Because, especially when you're at concerts. I love doing it when I'm at concerts. I will do it to, like, every other guy I see.
If you are one of the people doing this, you need to stop. You need to apologize. You need to make amends with whoever you've done it to. And you need to never do it again.
I think I know what you did last night. If you send me $1,000, I won't tell your wife.
And how much I wish that there was something that I as an individual could do to stop it. But there's nothing that I as an individual can do to completely stop it.
If you use any of this, I'll sue you.
You know, the lady really doth protest way too much.
I cannot imagine the constant disappointment that women in this community must experience when they meet a male YouTuber or person on Twitter or whatever, and they start to think of this person as a friend. They think of them as an ally. They think of them as someone they like to talk to, maybe someone they go to for advice, maybe someone that just has a larger audience than they have or has more influence or more friends than they have in the community, and they would just like to know just surely for networking purposes.
Now, one of the reasons this bothers me, like being accused of abuse and things like this, is just because how many videos I've made about rape. It's like the thing that throws me into like a rage more than anything.
Anybody who knows me knows I get animated about rape.
I think I know what you did last night. If you send me $1,000, I won't tell your wife.
To have that person go from someone who is a friend and someone who is trusted to someone who would try to take advantage of them, when it's clear that they really should know better. I cannot tell you how disappointed I am about this and how angry I am about this.
And it's been people that I have seen make videos about rape and MRAs and sexual harassment have been the ones to sexually harass me.
Anyway, turns out some of these white knights were trying to get their rocks off with cut-price lacy green hair.
It's literally gotten to the point where me and one of my female YouTube friends have been like, we need to make like a comprehensive list of all of the male social justice or feminist YouTubers that are threatening to females and that have sexually harassed females. We actually feel the need to make a list. And these are people that I see in my Facebook groups. These are people I see in my Skype friends lists. These are people I see in my sub box.
And some of them even said, and this is the funny part, said that they were falsely accused.
So I'm going to give some background on this accusation that has been made against me. And this accusation, first of all, that I was sexually predatory toward somebody on YouTube.
Which is triple hilarious, seeing as these are the sorts of I stand with Jackie white knights, and there's no such thing as false accusations, and due process is just a patriarchal way of excusing rape culture.
Why are so many of our institutions seemingly more preoccupied with shielding rapists from the consequences of their crimes and the knowledge of their crimes being released to the public?
And somebody has told me that they have said I've been sexually predatory toward women on YouTube multiple times
than they are with investigating their crimes and driving them from their midst into the arms of the criminal justice system. Why is that still the way it works?
And it's been people that I have seen make videos about rape and MRAs and sexual harassment have been the ones who sexually harass me.
And after they'd whipped their way down this, yeah, but I'm more offended by trivial bullshit than you are, ladder.
Because you, in your fervor to be the greatest hero in the social justice community, apparently.
Eventually, they ended up calling each other transphobes and the such like.
I've already been accused of being a misogynist.
Clear the air on a few things that have gone down as of late. Recently, I've taken a few stances on the SJW drama that some people didn't like, which has resulted in my being labeled a bigoted transphobe.
The Archduchess implies in these comments, or this comment I should say, that somehow, someway, JJ is a transphobe.
And yeah, it ended with a load of them throwing themselves on their white knight swords and promising never to come back or get involved in this ever again.
I am going to be taking a hiatus from social issues and stuff for the next several months.
Rage quit.
So, I posted to Twitter that I'm done with YouTube drama, and that is true.
Rage quit.
Today, I decided to do this video in an effort to explain to everybody my recent decision to sort of exit the social issues arena and everything.
Yeah, that is, Hannibal, I'm going to fuck you over if it's the last thing I ever do. Throwing in the towel after only a few weeks.
And like I said, one of these days, I am going to find a way to fuck you over for what you did, one way or the other. If it's the last fucking thing I do, okay? I will not forget that until I'm in the grave. And that's the only way you're going to get out of basically paying for it in the end. I will find a way to basically screw you over for that.
Yeah, you've got to give it to them. These social justice warriors have a determination of pure steel. Until things just don't quite go entirely their way.
I am just sort of longing for the days where we at least pretended to like each other, you know?
See, their morals, their code, it's a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble.
So I am done commenting on anything like that on this channel. Completely. I'm done commenting on it, period. I don't want to know about it. I don't care anymore. I really don't. I apologize to those of you who have considered me somewhat of an ally in some of these discussions with transgender issues and things like this. I just won't do it anymore. I'm done.
Rage quit.